Welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're tackling electromechanical equipment assembler interviews.
Ooh, getting right into it.
We are. These jobs blend those electrical and mechanical skills, and we're here to help you prep using all the goodness from RoleCatcher.
Absolutely. And it's not just about knowing how to connect a wire or tighten a bolt.
Right.
It's understanding how those systems come together to make things work.
Exactly. So before we jump into the interview questions, can we paint a clearer picture of what these assemblers actually do?
Sure, think of them like skilled artisans, but with wires and circuits and all that.
I like that.
They're the ones taking those blueprints and instructions and turning them into actual working devices.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? And there are all sorts of industries too, right?
Oh, yeah. Everywhere from manufacturing to aerospace, even telecommunications. It's really a broad field.
Wow. So you're definitely going to need an edge in this job market. That's where RoleCatcher comes in, right?
100%. They've got these awesome career guides that break down all the skills you need, plus a massive library of interview questions. And get this, their AI can actually help tailor your resume and give you feedback specific to the job you're applying for.
Well, that sounds like a game changer.
Oh, it is. And they even have a free version you can try out, or you can go all in with the Copilot AI subscription for even more in-depth help.
Nice. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What are some of those common interview questions you're likely to face, and how can you make sure you knock them out of the park?
So one they almost always ask is, what experience do you have in electromechanical equipment assembly? And don't worry if you haven't had a job with that exact title.
Okay.
It's about highlighting those transferable skills.
Right, right.
Did you tinker with electronics as a kid?
No.
Ever work on a DIY project at home? Maybe you volunteered somewhere doing repairs. All that counts.
So it's about showing that passion and that you're a hands-on kind of person.
You got it. And RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze the job description and suggest ways to connect those experiences to what the company's looking for.
Wow, that's pretty slick.
It is. Now, another question you'll likely get is all about quality control. How do you ensure quality control? They want to see that you're detail-oriented and that you take pride in your work.
So it's about more than just saying, I'm careful.
Way more. Think about the process. Talk about testing, inspections, documentation, things like that.
Can you give an example?
Sure. You could say something like, in my previous role, I used a multimeter to test each connection, documented any discrepancies, and followed our protocol to the letter. That shows them you have a system.
That's a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about those questions that ask you to describe a time you had to troubleshoot a problem? Those always make me a little nervous.
I get it. But honestly, those are your time to shine. Just have a specific example ready to go. Let's say you were assembling a control panel and a circuit kept tripping.
Okay, I've been there.
You could walk them through how you went step by step, checking each component, found a loose wire, and fixed it safely.
That makes sense. But what if you're newer to the field and haven't faced any major troubleshooting situations yet?
That's where those personal projects we talked about can come in handy. Even something as simple as troubleshooting a basic circuit at home shows you have those problem-solving skills they're looking for.
I see, I see.
And again, RoleCatcher can help you frame those experiences in a way that makes sense to employers, even if you're still gaining that on-the-job experience.
That's super helpful. So we've covered experience, quality control, and troubleshooting. What else should we be prepared for?
Let's talk about staying current. They might ask something like, how do you stay informed about industry advancements? They want to see that you're a lifelong learner and that you're passionate about this stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. What are some good examples you can give?
You could talk about attending webinars, following industry blogs, even being part of online forums or groups where people share the latest advancements.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Maybe you say, I regularly attend webinars on soldering techniques, or I subscribe to a couple of trade publications to learn about new component technologies. Be specific and show them you're actively learning.
Okay, I'm taking notes.
Good. So we've got experience, quality control, troubleshooting, and staying current. What else? Oh, technical drawings. They're going to want to know if you can read and understand those, so be prepared to talk about your experience with that.
And if you have any certifications, this is the time to mention them, right?
For sure. Things like JSTD001 or IPCA 610 demonstrate a real understanding of industry standards. And if you don't know what those are, RoleCatcher can break it all down for you.
I gotta say, RoleCatcher sounds like a lifesaver for anyone going through this process.
It really is. It's all about helping you feel prepared and confident. Now, we've covered a lot of ground, but we still have a few more juicy questions to tackle.
Okay, I'm ready. Bring on the next round.
All right, let's do it.
All right, hit me with those next level questions.
Okay, let's talk teamwork. You're often going to be working with others in this role, so they want to know how you handle that. They might ask, how do you collaborate with other team members during the assembly process, or something along those lines?
Yeah, teamwork is key. So how do you showcase those skills effectively?
It's all about communication,
Hmm.
right? Can you give clear instructions? Can you take direction? How do you handle disagreements?
Makes sense.
A good example would be something like, in my last team, we used a whiteboard to track our progress, had regular check-ins, and if we had any disagreements, we talked them out and found solutions that worked for everyone.
Right. Shows you're a team player.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, assembly environments can be pretty dynamic. Things change all the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So be ready for a question like, describe a time when you had to adapt to changes in the assembly process or equipment.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
They want to know you can roll with the punches. Maybe you had to learn a new procedure, use different tools, or figure out a new software program. Tell them how you approached it.
You could say something like, when our company introduced a new automated system, I took the initiative to learn the software, worked with my team, and we actually increased production efficiency by 15%.
Boom. Now that's a strong answer. It shows you're adaptable, you're willing to learn, and you get results. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about testing and troubleshooting.
Yeah, now we're getting to the technical stuff.
Yep, this is where they really want to see what you know. Be ready for questions like, can you describe your experience with testing and troubleshooting equipment? Or what types of testing equipment have you used? This is where those specifics are super important.
So I should talk about things like multimeters and oscilloscopes.
Exactly. And walk them through the procedures you followed. Maybe you say, I've used multimeters to check for continuity and oscilloscopes to analyze waveforms. One time I had to troubleshoot a faulty motor control system, and I systematically checked every component until I found a loose connection. Then I repaired it, making sure to follow all safety protocols.
Okay, that sounds really detailed.
It is,
Yeah.
and that's what they're looking for. They want to know you understand the tools, the procedures, and that you prioritize safety.
Gotcha. Now, I know we've talked about RoleCatcher a few times already, but can it help with this technical stuff too?
Oh, absolutely. Remember how we talked about tailoring your answers to the specific company?
Yeah.
Well, their AI analyzes the job description and gives you suggestions for how to fine-tune your responses. They might even be looking for experience with a specific type of testing equipment, and RoleCatcher can help you highlight that if you have it.
Wow, that's seriously impressive.
It is. It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket. Okay, so we've covered a lot of questions, but before we move on, are there any general tips you can share to help people really nail this interview?
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Well, first off, enthusiasm goes a long way. Let them see that you're excited about this opportunity and that you're eager to contribute.
Right, a positive attitude is infectious.
Exactly. Second, don't just say you're good with tools. Be specific. Talk about the tools you're proficient with and how you've used them.
Maybe even pull some examples from those personal projects.
Yes, great point. And finally, do your research. Learn about the company, their products, their values. It shows you're taking this seriously, and it helps you connect your skills to their needs.
It's like that saying, fail to prepare, prepare to fail.
Exactly. Now, on the flip side, are there any interview no-nos we should avoid?
I'm all ears.
Okay, first and foremost, never badmouth a previous employer. Even if things didn't end well, focus on the positives and what you learned from the experience.
Okay, good advice.
Next, be prepared to discuss salary expectations. Do your research and know what you're worth.
Right. Be informed and professional about it.
And here's a big one. Avoid seeming arrogant. Humility and a willingness to learn will get you much further.
Makes sense. So we've talked about what to say, but what about our body language? Any tips on that front?
Definitely. Eye contact is key. Maintain it throughout the conversation, but don't stare them down, you know?
Right. Find that balance.
Good posture is important too. It shows confidence.
And try not to fidget.
Exactly. All those little things can make a difference. And don't forget to smile. A genuine smile can really go a long way in making a connection.
Makes you more approachable.
Totally. Okay, so we've covered interview questions, general tips, even body language. Anything else we're missing?
Well, we talked about how to answer their questions, but what about questions we should ask them? And how do we wrap things up and leave a lasting impression?
You're reading my mind. Those are both crucial parts of the interview process. We definitely need to talk about those.
All right, so we've talked about how to answer their questions, our body language. What else do we need to nail this interview?
So remember, an interview, it goes both ways, right?
Hmm.
You should have some good questions ready to ask them.
Oh, like to ask the interviewers.
Yeah, it shows you're engaged and that you're really thinking about the role.
So it's not just about showing them what we know, it's also about learning more about them.
Exactly. You could ask about company culture, like, can you tell me more about the work environment here? Or what's the team dynamic like? That way you can see if it's a good fit.
Right, because you don't want to end up somewhere where you're miserable, even if the job itself sounds cool.
Exactly. And you can also ask about the specific projects or challenges you might be working on. Something like, what are some of the exciting projects the team is currently working on?
Oh, that's a good one. It shows you're eager to jump in and contribute.
For sure. And it gives you a better sense of what the day-to-day would actually look like. Oh, and don't forget to ask about professional development. You could say, what kind of training programs are available? Or are there opportunities for growth within the company?
That's smart. It shows them you're invested in your career and that you're always looking to learn new things.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about those closing moments, how to leave a lasting impression.
Okay, yeah, what should we do?
First, reiterate your enthusiasm. Re-emphasize those key skills you bring to the table and how they align with what the company needs. You could say something like, thank you so much for your time. I'm really excited about this opportunity, and I'm confident that my experience in mention a specific skill would be a valuable asset to your team.
Like a little recap of why they should hire you.
Exactly. And then always, always end by expressing your gratitude. A simple, thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to hearing from you goes a long way.
It's those little touches that can make all the difference.
Totally. Now, we've talked a lot about how RoleCatcher can help you prep for the interview, but is there anything else it can do, like beyond the interview itself?
I'm curious about that too.
Well, it can help you track your applications, manage your network, even explore different career paths if this particular opportunity doesn't work out. It's really a resource for your entire job search journey.
It's like having a career coach right there on your phone.
I know, right? So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the key takeaways for our listeners who are prepping for those electromechanical equipment assembler interviews?
Okay, let's see. Preparation is key. Right. You got to research the company, practice your answers, and use those resources like RoleCatcher to fine-tune your approach.
Yeah, and don't forget to let your passions shine through. Show them that you're genuinely interested in this field and that you're excited to learn and grow.
Enthusiasm is contagious.
Right, and don't just tell them about your skills, show them. Give specific examples, draw from those personal projects, really bring those experiences to life.
And ask thoughtful questions. It shows you're engaged and helps you get a better understanding of the company and the role.
You got it. Most importantly, remember you've got this. With the right preparation and a positive attitude, you can absolutely ace that interview and land that dream job.
We believe in you. And if this deep dive has sparked your interest in the world of electromechanical assembly, definitely check out all the amazing resources RoleCatcher has to offer.
Absolutely. What resonated with you the most today? What are you going to explore further?
Think about it. What personal project could you start working on to boost your experience? And how would you tailor your answers to this specific company?
Those are great questions. And on that note, best of luck on your job search. We're rooting for you.